Introduction. Its place in history. The Asian Hun Empire, 3rd century BCE Cortisage CE, appears not only as the first organized state ever referred to as Turk in historical sources, but also as the prototype for all later Eurasian steppe empires. Centered in present-day Mongolia, this state reshaped the course of not only Turkish history, but also Chinese and European history. Foundation period and two founding figures. The establishment of the empire was not the work of a single person, but the product of a long process. These peoples, known in Chinese sources as Xiongnu, had their earliest known ruler, Tumen, Teoman. Tumen attempted to unite the scattered Han tribes, such as the eastern Nushibi and western Tuli wings. However, the true transformation began with his son, Mete Han, Modun Chanyu, 209 to 174 BCE. The story of Mete Han's rise to the throne is legendary, reflecting both ambition and the strategic brilliance of a state founder. Tumen sent Mete as a hostage to the Yueshi in order to have him killed, but Mete escaped. To forge an army of absolute loyalty, Mi ordered his men to shoot first his favorite horse, then his wife, and finally his father's prized horse. Those who obeyed passed his test. With this loyal force, he ambushed and killed his father during a hunting expedition, ascending the throne in 209 BCE. Mi then conquered not only the Hun tribes, but also the various Turkic and Mongolic peoples across Central Asia, uniting what Chinese sources call the 26 or 24 nomadic tribes, Dingling, Tiala, Surs, Ogurs, Wusun, and more, under one political structure. This marked the transformation from a tribal confederation into the first real steppe empire. State organization and the mobile capital. The Huns were a nomadic state, perhaps their most distinctive feature. They had no fixed stone capital. Instead, their capital was a mobile political center called Ordu, where the ruler's golden tent, aristocratic families, soldiers, and herds moved seasonally according to grazing conditions. This system became the model for later steppe empires and laid the foundations of the Ordu Balak ruler's city tradition. Mete Han's greatest contribution was the revolutionary Onlu system, decimal system, which shaped both the military and the administration. Military organization. The smallest unit consisted of 10 soldiers, led by a 10 chief, then 100, centurion, 1,000, and 10,000, Tumen commander. Tumen commanders reported directly to Mete. Administrative organization. The empire was divided into two main wings, left, east, and right, west. The left wing, the side of the rising sun, was superior and the crown prince resided there. Each wing had its own kings and princes. This dual organization became the backbone of the state tradition in later Turkic empires, from the Gökturks to the Ottomans. The Golden Age of Mete Han, surpassing the Great Wall of China. Mete's rise coincided with the Qin dynasty in China. The famous Great Wall, strengthened by Emperor Qin Shi Huang to resist Hun raids, proved ineffective against Mete's strategic mind. The turning point was the Battle of Baideng, 200 BCE. With an army of 300,000 to 400,000 mounted archers, Mete crossed the Great Wall and surrounded Emperor Gaozu, founder of the Han dynasty. China's heavy infantry was helpless against the mobility of Hun cavalry. Gaozu escaped only by bribing Mete's wife, the Yabgu Hatun, and agreeing to a humiliating peace treaty. The Munhan 98 BCE treaty was a disgrace for China. 1. Annual tribute, silk, wine, grain, luxury goods. 2. A marriage alliance, sending a noblewoman as a princess to marry Mete. 3. Official recognition of the Huns as an equal state. This reflected China's long-term diplomatic strategy. Rule the barbarians with barbarians and tribute disguised as gifts. The Great Wall could stop minor raids, but not the political and military power of a genius like Mete Han. Culture, economy, and daily life. Economy. Pastoral nomadism, horse, sheep, goats, cattle, camels, formed the backbone of the economy, along with a war-based economy reliant on spoils. Tribute from China and border trade, silk for horses, were essential. Religion. The dominant belief system was the Tengri, sky god faith. Shamans acted as intermediaries between humans and the spiritual world. Nature worship, mountains, water, sun, moon, and ancestor worship were significant. Art. The animal style was the hallmark of Hun art. Belt buckles, horse tack, and sword handles, crafted from gold, silver, and bronze, were decorated with stylized birds, deer, and felines. This artistic style spread across Eurasia. Writing. There is no conclusive evidence that they used a formal writing system, yet Chinese sources note that they exchanged letters. Early forms of runic script may have existed, though this remains debated. Decline, division, and the migration that changed history. After Mete, rulers such as Kiok and Zhengchen preserved the empire's strength. However, Chinese diplomatic manipulation, stirring dynastic conflicts, embargoes, and division tactics weakened internal unity. First Division, 54 BCE, a civil conflict between Hu Hanye, peace faction, and his brother Zhiji, independence faction. Final Division, 48 CE, a succession crisis between Panu and Pai led to a permanent split. Southern Huns accepted Chinese rule and eventually assimilated. Northern Huns continued resisting Chinese and Xianbei pressure. Unable to withstand Xianbei and Chinese attacks, the Northern Huns began moving west after 91 CE. This initiated one of the most significant chain reactions in world history. By advancing westward north of the Caspian Sea, the Huns defeated the Alans, and in 375 crossed the Don River, destroying the Ostrogothic kingdom. This event triggered the Great Migration of Peoples, Völkerwanderung. Visigoths sought refuge in Roman lands, Vandals, Suebi, and Alans moved into Gaul and Spain. Eventually, the Roman Empire split into eastern and western halves. The Western Roman Empire collapsed in 476. Some of these western-moving Huns would later establish the European Hun Empire under Attila. Thus, the collapse of the Asian Huns set into motion a process that forever reshaped Europe's ethnic and political map. Conclusion and historical legacy. The legacy of the Asian Hun Empire is immense. 1. Foundation of the Turkic state tradition. Mete's decimal system and dual administrative structure set the model for later Turkic empires. Number 2. Military innovation. Their mounted archers and tactics revolutionized military history. 3. Shaper of Chinese history. They influenced China's foreign policy, defensive strategies, the Great Wall, and domestic structure. 4. Catalyst of European transformation. Their westward migration triggered the Great Migration, closing antiquity and ushering in the Middle Ages. 5. Cultural bridge. Their animal-style art and nomadic lifestyle bridged Eastern and Western culture.